It was all the masala, all the mass, all the action of Pathaan, but also with Atlee sir's social consciousness, you know. It was like one of the top 10 moments of my life is getting to sing with SRK sir, and he was also, I think on that day, he was also like, oh God, like I have to sing today. He was like, kya karna hai? I was like, sir, ab bas ye simple sa ga lo. Ooh, and then we all sang together. It's a very cute moment.
Who did you trip on more? The look of SRK as Azad or the look of SRK as Vikram Rathore?
No one has seen SRK bald before this. I was one of the first few in the world to see him in a bald cap. And what I love about the women in Jawan is that they're not only strong, but they're also soft. Because I feel like so often when you show a strong woman, you show them as like a man. So many of the funny moments in the film are not scripted. In fact, like now, I've worked with him for 2 years, so I know when I watch any Shah Rukh Khan film, I can be like, with 80% confidence, I can say he wrote that line or he put that line in, because it's so him. It's that humor is so him. We were trying to like go into the tent for dinner with Atlee sir and Shah Rukh sir, because for the past 3 days we had done that. So हम अंदर जाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, and one of the bodyguards stopped us and he was like, नहीं, you know. And then Shah Rukh sir saw and he called his bodyguard and he was like, when the girls are around, none of you should be around. After I was like, wow, and he was like, I love badams, you know, and I also snack on them. Sorry to ruin the illusion, but there weren't actually gun cartridges in my bulletproof vest. It was badam.
I think my next guest has lived the dream of millions of people out there. I think everyone who comes to Mumbai comes with this dream. At least we get to once meet Shah Rukh Khan, and I think she has done way better than that. She has got to act with Shah Rukh Khan, and she has done a brilliant job at it. I'm very happy and excited as I sit in the company of Aaliyah Qureishi. So Aaliyah, welcome to Bollywood Bubble.
Thanks Akash. Thanks for having
How
me.
is it enjoying the success and the love and adulation, everything that is coming with it?
It's amazing. It's unreal. It's like I'm in a dream right now, and it's like, who can even imagine, you know, like what I have experienced in the past 10 days. Even I could not imagine it. So I'm just really happy about the success. I'm happy people are loving it. I'm happy to be a part of Indian cinema history.
Yeah.
You know,
Truly, like 900 crores and counting. 907 crores to be exact and
you know
counting.
how much it's going to make eventually.
Yeah, we all know.
We all know. Let's just not say it to jinx it.
Yeah,
but we know
it's just a matter of it's got to do that. But like, I want to ask you the first question is that what the netizens want to know. What's the story behind Jhalli?
Behind Jhalli. So, pehle to it's Jhalli, not Jhalli verse is my Instagram. Okay, it's a universe of Jhallis. So basically it's what my parents used to call me as a kid because I used to just do weird things and I was kind of a wild child. And I liked it. मैंने सोचा मैं अपना क्यों ना लूँ because it's a artistic name, and for me it stands for just being yourself, you know, and being authentic, which is sometimes hard to do in the industry we're in. But I always wanted to stay true to myself, and so I thought I'll adopt the name as a way to reclaim it.
Yeah, it's all about loving your nicknames. Because I remember mine is not artistic one, but my nickname used to be Dengu. And
Dengu.
After a while I started accepting it. I was like, okay.
That's so
something
cute.
Different.
I want to call you Dingu now.
Yeah, it's different. You accept it. But like getting to work, you got to work in a mixture of the South flavor and the Hindi masala with Shah Rukh Khan sir, Atlee sir, Vijay Sethupathi, Nayanthara. Being in the company of all that, how was your learning about the two kind of workings of the different industries kind of emerging together?
It was really interesting because it's my first project. I wasn't sure how much of it was the North flavor, how much was the South flavor, but thankfully I had Sanya and Priyamani there with me, you know. So we all became really close, all 6 of us, and for me, I feel like 2 of my biggest mentors, actually even Gigi is from the North industry, more Marathi industry, but I feel like I had these veteran actors helping me and guiding me and, you know, kind of explaining to me ki, this is, like, I kind of understood by their reactions and their by their reactions to things, what was common in the North and what was common in the South. You know, so it was interesting to work on that, and the style was obviously very different because I've grown up watching more Bollywood films. I've watched some South films, especially since getting this role. I've watched all of Atlee sir's films, actually 4 of his films, 3 of his films. And so it was interesting to see it because it's a very different style. Like the South it tends to be more massy and more kind of like larger than life. And sometimes in Bollywood you see just a different kind of editing, a different kind of experience. You know, so it was really interesting, and I'm grateful I got to be in the first truly pan-India film.
True.
you know.
And when you got the role, it was finalized. Did people around you believe that you have actually backed a film with Shah Rukh Khan?
I wasn't allowed to tell a lot of people. I told my family and my close friends. They believed me because, you know, it would be a bit insane of me to lie about that and be like 10 years later, हाँ आ रही होगी अगले साल, you know. So they believed me, but I don't think they, like, it's not, they couldn't understand, they couldn't understand how big it was going to be. Even I didn't understand how big it was going to be until it released, you know.
Yeah, but like after this year when Pathaan came out, and did the numbers that it did your also confidence kind of increase, like अब तो ये तो शाहरुख खान का साल है, अब तो जवान भी तो
110%, because after seeing how much people love Pathaan, I was like, Jawan is also an action film. It has similar like stunts teams that were on Pathaan are also on Jawan. And I think it has Atlee's very specific flavor and his social messaging. It's all about, you know, women empowerment and kind of writing a system. And so it was really interesting because it was all the masala, all the mass, all the action of Pathaan, but also with Atlee sir's social consciousness, you know. So I knew it was going to do well. I knew it was going to touch the hearts of so many Indians and you know, non-Indians also, worldwide. Yeah.
And you're a musician as well, and your character also got that trait.
Yeah.
So was it like a very happy, a very proud of a moment for you to kind of have something that you actually are in real life, have that kind of reflect in your role as well?
Definitely. For me, I was so happy that I got cast as a musician of the composer of the group, because I do compose, I produce, I sing, I songwrite, everything. And in fact, Atlee sir asked me when I went to his office after auditioning, after the first round of auditions, I met him and he asked me a few questions like, do you fight? Have you ever fought before? I used to box. Then he asked me, are you willing to change your hair, dye it, cut it, whatever? I was like, sir, मैंने बाल पहले shave कर चुकी हूँ बाल, I've dyed it blue, I've done everything. तो मतलब उसका तो कोई tension नहीं. I'll do whatever. And then third question he asked me was, are you a musician? Do you play any music? And I was like, yeah, professionally. So he was, I think that's all he needed to hear, and then he wrote the character and kind of fleshed it out. And I even told him, I was like, sir, you have to make me play guitar in this film, because you know, if you can in a scene. So he's like, let me think, and then he put that into the you know, the script, and he kind of, there's that one moment of me and SRK. It was like one of the top 10 moments of my life is getting to sing with SRK sir. And he was also, I think on that day he was also like, oh God, like I have to sing today. He was like, kya karna hai? I was like, sir, ab bas ye simple sa ga lo. Ooh, and then we all sang together. It's a very cute moment, and, you know.
Really, very cute. How did your first meeting with SRK go?
It was amazing. I met him about a week into shoot, and he was really sweet and really kind, and he hugged us so warmly. And you know, I tell the story to everyone, but he says, you know, I said, so I'm very excited to work with you. He said, not more excited than I am. And I was, my मन में सोची थी, definitely more excited than you. But thank you for saying that. सुन के अच्छा लगा, you know.
सुन के अच्छा लगा आपने. But you mentioned Sanya and Priyamani, and I was talking to Leher also about this, that while SRK, Nayanthara and Vijay are there in the film, they still have a different role that is different from what you are doing. Sanya and Priyamani comes in the same group of people that you are portraying on screen. For them to be there, and those two are big stars compared to the rest 4 of you. 3 of you are freshers. So how was it kind of being with them in the same circle in the beginning? Was it a little intimidating? Was it a little nerve-wracking? Because these two come with a certain aura of their own, certain stature of their own.
You would think that, but they're just such good people, and I think that's why I feel so lucky to be part of this specific girl gang, is because the casting just hit it out of the ballpark, and Atlee sir, of course, because not only has he picked 6 people who work so well as a team on screen, but 6 people who work so well as friends in real life. And we've, like, how close we've gotten, people don't believe, you know, because they're like, 6 ladkiyan ho gayi, it must be like this, it must be like that, and it's not at all, because they're just good people, and I think they're human beings, and they're good human beings before they're good actors. So it makes a big difference, because they don't come into it with that ego of haan nahi hum to bade stars hai, or like inse baat nahi karni. They came into it with like oh hi, we're all going to act together, and you know, we just got along like a house on fire.
Who did you trip on more, the look of SRK as Azad or the look of SRK as Vikram Rathore?
I think for me personally, Azad, because the first look I saw him was in that bald look in the first schedule, and I was like, यही इनका look है पूरी film के लिए, and then he told me, नहीं, it's, you know, a disguise or whatever. But that was a trip because no one has seen SRK bald before this. I was one of the first few in the world to see him in a bald cap. And so I think I tripped more on. There were more Azad looks also that the whole bandage and stuff. They made him look scary so that no one would sit next to him in the metro. So I think maybe Azad. Azad's more like preppy and cute and kind of, like he's raised around women. He has that softer side to him. VR is a proper Jawan, just smoking his cigarette, does his duty, does what needs to be done. So he's more that traditional South hero, that mega star who he just has that one really heroic kind of attitude. So I think I would say that VR is more Atlee sir's character and Azad is more SRK sir's character.
And for you, like, to be in the beginning of your career, to get a film which highlights the importance of women, which highlights the power of women, I would say, what all they can do and everything, even that too in a film that is majorly about a father-son relationship. It's about the male characters, but still it finds to pay respect to the power of women, empower them and kind of hold them in high regards.
Definitely.
How important was it for you to be a part of such a story as a woman yourself? Because there's a lot of stories that promote for women empowerment as well, and just for the sake of it, and this wasn't one of them. To be because as I mentioned earlier also, that in that hospital scene, that is actually where you kind of see that it's actually the women who are saving SRK. Then it's Nayanthara who's fighting like a pro with SRK at that time. So for you to be a part of such a story, how important does it become as a woman?
It's a great question. It's very important to me because I'm someone who believes in this so much. Like if you ask me, if in terms of just making a positive impact on the world, what's the one thing you feel really strongly about? There's many things, Vesito, but one of the top ones is women empowerment, because I feel like so many times women's stories don't get told, and we're in the minority in terms of like power, finance. Just there's so many ways in which women have yet to like step into their own power, because I wouldn't say have to get empowered, because I feel like everyone, men and women, have power within themselves, but women have not accessed it, or they've not been taught how to access it for so much. So I'm hoping that women all over the country see it and see these badass women who and what I love about the women in Jawan is that they're not only strong but they're also soft, because I feel like so often when you show strong women, you show them as like a man, basically like what the ideal of a man is, but it's a woman jo wo sab kar rahi hai. But with them, they can fight like traditional heroes, or like traditionally how men have fought, but they sing love songs, and they cry, and they love each other, and they are compassionate, and there's all these soft, amazing qualities that women have that I think everyone should have, not just women. And so there's both the divine masculine and the feminine, So that's what I love about the women in Jawan, is that we're both soft and strong.
Yeah, true. I completely agree that everyone, I really like that you said that both men and women should have that.
Yeah.
Because that is something, it's not just subjected to women. It's something that everyone should have, a softer side, a vulnerable side.
And that's what Azad, I think, exemplifies also, because he's grown up around women, he's been raised by women, he's been raised by Jailoma, so obviously in his life, his whole life is just spent for getting justice for the women around him who have been wronged. And then you see in VR also, at first he's more macho, he's more like, mujhe kuch yaad nahi hai, don't kiss me. But at the end, basically you see a softer side of VR also. You see him also, be that way with Azad. And like kiss him back and love him, and so I think it's a wonderful story for all genders.
So you live very close by to Mannat. So do you remember the first time you went there as a fan, and then the first time you went there?
So because I'm from Mumbai, I'm ashamed to say that I've not actually done the whole standing outside Mannat. मैंने कई बार in crossing by, I see him waving and all, and I've seen it growing up also, because सभी देखते हैं if you live in Mumbai. I've never actually stood outside and dreamed कि एक दिन मैं भी Mannat के अंदर I'm gonna be there, but it happened. I went in, so I think I'm lucky. I think I'm really lucky, and I'm grateful to be in this.
How was that feeling like when you went inside Mannat? Because बाहर बहुतों को देखा है फोटो खिंचाते, you were the one of the few who got to go inside.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was, I could not believe it. Was while I was in there also, I was like, am I really here? And when you're there also, it's like it's someone's house, at the end of the day. But it's not just someone's house. It is someone's house, but it's also like a landmark, a Mumbai landmark. So it was such a beautiful experience to get to go inside. And Shah Rukh sir, of course, is such a good host. and to get to be in his house, to be with his family and friends, and to dance with him to celebrate the success of the film. It's such an honor and such a privilege to do this in this life. Like life bucket list item ticked
Was it
off.
on 7th night?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was there outside that day.
Really? Oh.
and I had seen cards going inside, and I was like,
You might have
celebrate
seen
ho raha hai.
me. So I was with my cousins. Two of my cousins were visiting from like they don't live in India. Bhargav, so they were visiting, and they were like, we've never seen any Bollywood celebrity in our life. Da da da. So I was like, you come inside, drop me to Mannat since I've been invited, and shayad koi dikh jaye, And so when they were dropping me, they saw Shah Rukh sir he was standing at the entrance and greeting people as guests as they went in. One of my cousins, she had a proper, I think she must have had a panic attack or something. She was like, oh my god, that's Shah Rukh Khan. Oh my god, and I was like, hey, relax. But I was like, देखो तुमने जिंदगी में कोई Bollywood star को नहीं देखा और आज you met the biggest one arguably, So she's very grateful. She also got to be that. I was like, चलो दोनों की.
How I wish I was Alia's cousin right now.
Yeah.
Getting to see three such drastically different processes that have made a mark of their own, be it Shah Rukh sir, Vijay sir and Nayanthara. 3 different processes, 3 different kind of work experience they come from. To get to see them and have to get to imbibe them and observe all of them together.
Yeah.
How was that like for you?
Shah Rukh sir, I learned, he was a theatre actor. So it's crazy to see him act in front of you as opposed to on a 2-dimensional screen, because you see how much he does and how well it translates to screen. And that's one of the big learnings for me as an actor on this project, is that sometimes things look different live and they translate on screen differently. Maybe like all actors know this and I just learned this late, I don't know. But for me, it was quite a crazy realization to, have seen Shah Rukh Khan all these years on a screen and then see it live and see how he uses levels and how he uses his body, how he changes his voice, how he just and what an intuitive actor is, how much he improvises. So many of the funny moments in the film are not scripted. In fact, now I've worked with him for 2 years, so I know when I watch any Shah Rukh Khan film, I can be like, with 80% confidence, I can say he wrote that line or he put that line in, because it's so him. It's that humor is so him. And same with Vijay sir, improvises so much. There were so many scenes where that Santa Claus, ho, 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 I have a good trip. And even the Rafasi one, it's just brilliant. He just elevates the scene, takes it to the next level, And with Nayan ma'am, she also has such a distinct intensity about her that I think, when I see it live and then I see how it looks in the shot, I'm like, wow, it's a craft that she's honed over here. So it's amazing to work with all these veterans.
In the film, it was their first film with Shah Rukh Khan. For you, it was your first film and with Shah Rukh Khan. So that was a huge difference. So how was he instrumental in making you feel a part of the film? Because when it's a Shah Rukh Khan film, it can be made feel that, okay, it's a Shah Rukh Khan film.
Yeah,
but he made it feel like it was your film as well. So how instrumental was that thing?
I think that's what makes him so special and, makes people love him so much, because you admire a lot of actors, you think a lot of actors are talented. But with him, he just has this quality about him that just makes everyone love him, because he gives so much love out that it comes back to him, and so there was never a moment on set where he made us feel like, small or anything. He'd always lift us with him and always make us, if we were kind of standing in the corner and he was sitting by the monitor, he'd be like, get them chairs, and so all 6 of us would sit around him. If he was sitting and just kind of, sometimes he'd have a lot of makeup prosthetics, so it would be quite uncomfortable for him also, because, the prosthetics really pull your face and you can't really talk, so you'd be talking like this. But he'd always, if I'd ask him a question like a little chingus, I'd be like, so sir, what's your biggest advice for actors? He'd always very gracefully answer, very, and I think it's that made us feel like a team, because obviously it would have been easy for him to be like, I'm just going to go to my van and not talk to anyone or whatever, but he always made us feel like these are my girls, my 6 girls. In fact, once he even told one of his bodyguards, and this was in the first schedule, so the 2nd or 3rd day we had met him, we were trying to go into the tent for dinner with Atlee sir and Shah Rukh sir, because for the past 3 days we had done that. So हम अंदर जाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे, and one of the bodyguards stopped us and he was like, नहीं, and then so Sanya and Priyamani were like a little bit like, oh shit, and then I was so just like, अच्छा ठीक है मैं वापस जाती हूँ, can we fall into a hole? But then Shah Rukh sir saw and he called his bodyguard and he was like, when the girls are around, none of you should be around. He told all his bodyguards, when the girls are around, none of you will stop them from coming to me, you know. So like imagine how good we felt, you know, that Shah Rukh sir is saying that these are my girls, like you're never going to stop them from, you know, sitting next to me. So it felt really good. It was very heartwarming. He's just the best.
Yeah, is there a specific memory from the whole working time that you kind of feel was very exclusive to just you and him?
A memory? Definitely, there's so many. I mean, I'm sure we all have our own memories with him. One that I love is sharing my badams with him. Because I used to carry these little Ziploc bags of badams on set and I'd put them in my costume pockets or beach scenes mein main khati thi and I would just snack on them. And so once he was around, so I offered him aise hi mazak mein, I said, will you eat my, and it was this really ugly, dirty Ziploc bag. It was not some nice, fresh packet of badams, okay? Kafi purane badams bhi the. And he was like, yeah, sure. And he was in prosthetics, so he could barely eat, but he was eating the badams. And after I was like, wow. And he was like, I love badams, you know, and I also snack on them. So I was like, oh, another thing we have in common. And but then every time I used to get the badams, I'd look for him and I'd be like, sir, badams. He'd be like, haan, chaldi. And then eventually he was like, yeah, I want, but I can't because it's too hard to eat in these prosthetics. So you just let it be. So I was like,
but we have figured out how she used her costumes
yeah.
to keep her Ziplocs.
Guys, sorry to ruin the illusion, but there weren't actually gun cartridges in my bulletproof vest. It was badam.
Badam.
It was half empty Ziplocs of badams.
दिमाग तेज कर रहे हैं भाई, musician, composer. वो दिमाग की जरूरत है. But like we have seen 3 flashbacks, 3 backstories in Jawan 1. Are we gonna see the rest 3 in the sequel?
पहले तो तुम बहुत ही बड़ी assumption बना रहे हो कि sequel होगा, but I don't know, maybe if there's a sequel, probably, और क्या ही है. But that depends on Atlee, so I will not answer for him. But
we know that you have a musical talent. We would like to hear some of it, so that our audience can also get us a little live version of that. And we want to hear a Aaliyah original.
So this is my original song called Muqaddar, and it's streaming everywhere. चल मुझे इन हवाओं में, ले चल मुझे तेरी बाहों में, ले चल शर्म की घाव से मैं न जानूं मोहब्बत तो दिखा दे, ले चल पेड़ की छाव से, ले चल नकली राहों से, डूबूं तेरी अदाओं में, मैं हूँ भोली सदा से तो फंसा दे तू
Amazing, amazing. By the way, did you play songs for Shah Rukh sir as well?
I did. Yeah.
And how did he receive?
He seemed amazing. He couldn't move his face much because of prosthetics, so he seemed to like it.
You have done a lot of things while he was wearing prosthetics, I feel.
Yeah, he recently told us, sorry if I was grumpy on set because of prosthetics. I was like, if that's you being grumpy, then, I mean, wow, because you were amazing, even wearing the prosthetics. So, yeah.
But I'm sure you have such an amazing voice, you have such an amazing musical talent. I'm sure Atlee sir is gonna use it in Jawan 2. We are gonna plead him that he should use it for Jawan 2. We also need to see her backstory, and there's a lot that needs to be explored. So I think it's very evident that Jawan 2 needs to be made. Firstly, that's very evident. So it's a request from all of us.
This interview is actually just a campaign to start production of Jawan 2. Yeah.
Yes, and I think you have done a fabulous job in the film. And I'm sure there's going to be just bigger and better things written for you in future. You have got to live the dream of a million people, and I'm sure you're going to pave a path that's going to be a dream for a million people to follow as well. Thank you so much for giving us this time. I hope you had a good time because I had a great one.
I had a great time, Akash.
Thank you so much.
I had a great time, Dinku.
Dingu. Yeah. Thank you so much, Jhalli, and wishing you lots and lots of love.
Thank you so much. Hi, this is Aaliyah Qureishi urf Jhalli, and you're watching me on Bollywood Bubble.